Droners, I just want to give a huge shout out to Kelly from Ready Set Drone. We just did a crossover video where I got to be on his channel talking about being a professional drone pilot. You got to check it out. Links below. Let's get into the Droner news.
Droners, welcome to this week's edition of Droner News. B here, and first of all, I want to give a shout out to Harvey Fonda because he hooked us up with a new sticker for Droner News and for Droner Everything because he's a boss. And we have some really cool news to get into, so let's hop right into it. Coming in at number 1, we have a Powerline tether. This is a big deal for me because this is a tethering of a drone that already doesn't normally use a tether. In Inspire One, there's a guy, what's his name? Charles Spoto, who owns NTP, sorry Charles, and that is a company that does a lot of broadcasting for like sports events and things like that from the trucks. Like, oh yeah, we're gonna do the broadcasting and all that. And drone shots are really necessary for broadcasting, and they also made it so that our drones, or DJI made it so that Inspire 2, Inspire 1, that can do live broadcasting, so they can use it for that. But there's a big deal, or big problem with that would be the battery life. You only can be in the air for 20 minutes. Doesn't work for him for a live broadcast. He needs the drone to stay in the air for the entire duration of the game or whatever he's broadcasting, so he created a tether to allow the Inspire to stay in the air indefinitely. Really big deal because this can have a huge influence on security, on agriculture, on whatever you want it to do, because you can keep the drone in the air as long as you have electricity, which is pretty much forever, apparently. So big deal, keep an eye on it. He created this stuff, and you can check out the link below for the website. Really cool stuff. Coming in at number 2, sticking to the sports kind of thing, the NFL Pro Bowl, which nobody really watched. I didn't watch, just joking. I watched a little bit of it because they used drones for one of the skills challenges, and what they did is they attached a football to a drone, took it over 100 feet high, and then dropped it directly onto the field, and the receivers had to catch it when they're coming pretty much straight out of the sunlight. Really hard thing to do. It was kind of clunky, really interesting, but it was really cool to see that drones are attempting to be used in all aspects, including the NFL getting in on the game. The competition was close for the first, few rounds, but Odell Beckham Jr., which everybody knows, the guy from the New York Giants, the receiver from the New York Giants, has ended up winning it with his incredibly brilliant hair. Coming in at number 3, we have the selfie phone drone. Now, you know that whenever there's a company that's making a drone for the first time, or especially Kickstarter, I'm gonna normally say, be very wary of it. And that's what I'm saying right now, be wary of this. Another Kickstarter drone company it's called the Selfie. It's pretty much a drone, it's a case for your phone, and the drone like pops off the back of the case and it can fly and take, 1080, 30 frames per second video and pictures of you. In the videos, they actually already have the working prototype. So that's much more than, let's say, I don't know, the Lily drone, cough, cough. But again, new drone, new company. I personally say, don't trust it, but it might work, who knows? So check it out, it's a really simple concept. It's only $100, so it's really reasonably priced. So $100 for a case that flies and takes pictures of you. Not so bad. So possibly worth checking out, but definitely take it with a grain of salt. Coming in at number 4, we have Elaine Chao. She is President Trump's appointment for the cabinet, the Secretary of Transportation, which pretty much contrary to every other cabinet appointment has people excited, or at least the people in the drone community excited. And the reason is because Secretary Chao worked in the Bush administration as a labor secretary, and has a reputation of the quote, less is more when it comes to regulations. And that means for drone pilots, like the only thing she's ever really said thus far is that she's going to be focus mainly on safety. Safety, 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 which of course that's what we're all wanting, is for drones to be safe and work safely around people. But less is more when it comes to regulations works out really well if you want to be a drone pilot and fly your drone in places that are safe, that are also questionable in other ways. So hopefully that means less regulations for where we can fly, but more safety. Keep your eyes tuned, your ear to the ground, because there's going to be change in the laws in the airs. Pun intended? No? Coming in last but not least, there is a company in England called Drones Direct that is selling a hands-free umbrella drone. If this is not the epitome of like privilege, I don't know what it is, but literally people can buy this drone for £12.99 or about $1,600, or you can finance it for $135 a month, and it's pretty much a Phantom with an umbrella on it that follows you around and then just shields you from the weather. I have this thing called a hand that I normally use for an umbrella, but apparently the drone is just as good. So I don't really see the practicality of this in any way, shape, or form. It's just like kind of showing off and stunting on folk. Like, oh, you hold your umbrellas? I don't need to do that because, oh crap, it just ran into your face. But there's a drone that will follow you around and block the rain, which to me kind of makes me wonder. Normally drones don't do that well in rain, especially Phantoms, and it looks like they're using a Phantom for this. So if the drone itself was to get wet, then there'd be a problem. Either way, I guess it's almost worth checking out. Drones Direct, hands-free umbrella drone. Look into it. Droners, thank you for checking out this edition of Droner News. And if you want to see more Droner News episodes, you can click right here. Or if you want to see episodes or the opening episode of what Droner really is, you should click here because we about that life. Otherwise, make sure that you hit the subscribe button because we really appreciate that. Or check out the Patreon page for us because that allows us to support us and do what we do. And as always, make sure you stay fly.